Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. I'm Rebecca Kaur, and in this video I'm gonna talk about what's on my Mac, which is gonna include apps for productivity, fun, lifestyle, entertainment, and one more app which is going to be very useful, but I'm gonna talk about it at the end of the video. And I'm gonna start very quickly, but before that I'm gonna talk about wallpapers. This is a very cool trick which I discovered when I recently got my Mac. So we all know wallpapers, right? But there are dynamic wallpapers in Mac, and it's kind of surprising that not a lot of people know about it. So that's why I'm talking about it today in this video. Dynamic wallpapers change with the daytime and the nighttime of the location you're living in. For example, in my location, the sunset has not happened yet. So in my wallpapers, the timing will be of the day. And as the sun will set down, there will be night in the wallpaper, which I have set for my desktop. So once the sun is set, I'm just going to show you guys how the wallpaper is going to look like. But right now the sun is up, so we'll wait for that time. So without wasting any time now, let's get started with all the apps. The first app on my Mac which I'm going to talk about is Mooda. I have talked about this app numerous of times, as this app is also available for the iPad and iPhone. It's a mood tracking journal app. You fill in your mood at the end of the day, whether it's happy, calm, sad, worried, upset, excited, whatever is it, just go for it, and that's it. You don't need to do anything else. Although if you do have extra minutes, you can add few sentences like what was so special about the day or what made you feel a certain way, and you can also add few stickers just to make it look more aesthetic. But if you don't want to do that, that's totally okay. And then you, after filling in the information, you click OK, and that's it. This is how your mood logs are formed, and you can also do it on your phone, and all the data will be synced. So it's not like you have to do it separately on your phone and your Mac, and you have a widget for that as well. So you just have to click on that and you will have access to it. Then the next app is birthdays. So there are sometimes lots of people in our life, and we do remember the birthdays of few people, a bunch of them, but not every birthday or every anniversary can be remembered. So for that, we have an app like this. You fill in the name, you fill in the date of birth of that person, and then you save it. This app will send you reminders in the widget bar that this birthday is coming up in this amount of days, and you will be updated with it and you won't miss out on that. You also have the option to put pictures for that certain person, although I would say the variety when it comes to pictures is not that great. They are very Windows 95 kind of thing, but yeah, I don't know, Windows 95, I don't know if even if it's just a word, but yeah, it's very old kind of space, but it works. And then we have desktop pets. So do you ever feel like the screen looks very boring when you are working? Well, I do feel like that sometimes, because the screen is like very dull, bland, there is a wallpaper, but then I'm like, there's nothing fun about it. And that's when the desktop pets come into the picture. So what you do for that is you decide the pet you want on your screen. You can resize them, increase or decrease the size, and you can also decide whether you want the pet to have the gravity effect on them or not, because if you don't, then the pet will be floating around your screen, even in your, I would say, applications. For example, if you're using a photo editing app, then the pet will be all over the place, which you don't want. So I always make sure that the gravity is enabled, and you can have as many pets as you want. And if you don't want them anymore, you just have to go in your menu bar and quit the app, and that's it, the pet will be gone. And then the next app that we have is One Thing. So this app is something which is very important for me. I love it. So once you open the app, you will be told to type a cute sentence, a very small one, I would say. So for example, this is an affirmation which goes like, you are safe and loved. And once I type it, it will reflect on my menu bar. So whenever I'm working, I'm looking at my desktop, it will be a constant reminder to my head that I'm safe and loved. It feels nice to look at it. And if you want, you can also use it as a reminder for something useful. For example, water the plants. It will work perfectly like that as well. And then coming to the productivity section, the first app that I have here is Structured, which works as a daily planner for desktop. So I came across this app I would say coincidentally. I was not actively searching for something which works as a planner, but when I came across this, I fell in love with it because it's really useful. So this app works in two ways. So when we add tasks, sometimes we know when we're going to do them, and sometimes we're not aware about when we should be doing them. So we have to just remember them that, okay, this is something which is supposed to be done, but we don't know when it's going to be done. So in that case, we add task to the inbox. We can also add a subtask to it. For example, my task was calling a property dealer, but collecting numbers of property dealers is also important. So that is a subtask which is related to it. So after adding the task to the inbox, it reflects on the sidebar, and if at any point you feel like that you want to assign a specific date or a time to it, that's entirely possible. You just assign it a desired date, desired time, and that's it. It will reflect on that date. And now it's time to add a task which we know when we want it to be done. So for example, my task is that I want to upload a YouTube video. So the task is now created. I now have to decide the time frame for it. And now I have to decide how long this task is going to take. For example, this task is going to take only 1 minute. So the time period now will be reflected in that way. And then we can also assign the color to it. And that's it. We're just going to save it to the desired date and desired time. Everything is done. But now when we want to edit it, so we're going to go back to it, click on that, edit the task, and now we can do anything we want to it. We can make the changes. We can change the desired date. For example, I'm shifting the date to 11 to 12 September. I can change the icon of the task as well, which is more relatable and reflects what the task is going to be about. This one is much more, I would say, specific to the task. And now this is how the task looks like. So this app is great, and it also has a widget for it. And once you're done with the task, you click on the checkbox, and that's it. The next app on my MacBook is Noto. So in this app, you create checklist, bulleted list, numbered lists. You can create notes. You can add emojis to it. Your list can go like stuff to carry in my bag, to the reels I'm supposed to create, to the books I'm supposed to read. So I'm just going to give you guys an example here. Let's create a new list, and it will go as books I'm supposed to read this month. And now I'm gonna go on format and click on, let's say, checklist. And now I'm gonna start adding the book's names here. So whenever I will be done reading with that certain book, I'm gonna check it off, signifying that I'm done with this book. So this app primarily works as notes app in the iOS ecosystem. But the only good thing about it is that this app is much more cleaner, much more simpler, and easy to understand. The Notes app has a lot of things going on in it, but this app is very simple, plain looking. You just get your tasks done, like creating notes or creating lists, and that's it. It has nothing extra going on here, creating tables and stuff like that, because sometimes you don't want it. You just want a simple note-taking and lists-making app, and this is what it is for. You can also change the boldness of your headings, the size of your headings, and you can underline your text in it. You can make them bold or italic, and it comes in really handy when there are different lists, or I would say a lot of text on one single page, because then it's easy to recognize a certain portion of the text with that. And I use this app a lot when it comes to creating a lists idea for my reels, for my videos, or the stuff I'm supposed to carry to a certain place, because this app is just so accessible and there is nothing extra going on in this app. And then the next app that I have is Notion, which is a very, I would say, a complex version of Noto. So this app is all about tables, checklists, lists, bulleted lists, notes, whatever. It's a database formation app. You store your data in it, although I have made it so much fun, and this particular page is my favorite. It's about cafes I want to visit. So whenever I come across a new cafe which has opened, I add it to my list, and then I add information regarding it, that when it gets opened, what are the directions, and have I visited or not, so stuff like that. And there are lots of pages on it. I have subscription tracker as well. In this page, I have all my subscriptions listed, then when it's going to renew and how much I pay for that. And I have talked about Notion in detail in my other videos. Feel free to check that out. And now it's time for the entertainment section. This is called Friendly Browser. Since this is an old version of MacBook, we cannot download Netflix or Prime Video app in it. So for that, we have Friendly Browser. So with this browser, we can access Disney Hotstar, Netflix, and YouTube, and every entertainment site. And then we have popcorn time. So I believe in paying for the content we are watching online, but sometimes the content that we want to watch is not anywhere. Not on Netflix, not on Prime, not on Hulu, or anywhere else. And for that, there is an app called Popcorn Times. It's entirely up to you if you want to use it. I'm not promoting piracy here, and also make sure that your country has not banned the use of such apps. Check that before you download it so you don't have to pay for any fines. And this app works in a way that all the latest movie shows and TV shows and movies are on there. And you can also download them if you want. It's not just about knowing that, okay, this TV show or movie has come up. You can also download them using the help of torrent. And I have done it, I would say, quite a number of times, maybe like 3-4 times a year. It comes in handy when you're not able to find any good content to watch. And then I have Spotify. So I have YouTube Music on my MacBook as well. But I don't prefer using it because whenever I use YouTube Music for listening to music, the algorithm of my whole YouTube feed gets messed up. So I like to listen my music on Spotify because then Spotify is just for music. It doesn't messes up my other video suggestions. So yeah, I listen to my music a lot on Spotify. And let's not forget that Spotify has podcasts as well. So we do have the option to switch between music and podcast at any time without switching our app. And then the final app I promised that I will talk about is Cloudflare WAP, which is a free VPN app. You do not have the option to choose which country you are choosing the VPN from, but it just works. For example, yesterday I used this app to start my Skillshare trial version. In India, it was only available for like 1 week, but when I turned on the VPN, it connected to Germany, and I had the Skillshare trial version for like 3 months now. So it's that drastic amount of difference, and it gives you access to the information which you don't have in your own country. And this is how the wallpaper looks like after sunset. There is night now in that place, and this is how dynamic wallpapers work. So guys, that was it for today's video. I hope that you guys loved it. All the apps that I talked about, the links are going to be in the description box below. If you guys have any questions, feel free to ask away, and also let me know in the comments box below which app are you going to download, and I will be interested in seeing your answers. And I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!